Member for Guelph.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My question is for the Premier. From ripping up business contracts to forcing a human rights tribunal complaint by throwing out the modern sex ed curriculum, to a hopeless lawsuit against the federal government's plan to make polluters pay, the Premier seems to be running an employment agency for lawyers. As a matter of fact, the Premier will spend more money suing the federal government in the next few months than he supposedly will save over the next 4 years by undermining local democracy in Toronto. Through you, Mr. Speaker, to the Premier, why is the Premier wasting taxpayer dollars on lawyers instead of spending it on services that benefit the people?
Premier.
Environment.
Mr. Speaker, through you to the member, and I know he has a deep interest and understanding in this issue. Mr. Speaker, as we've said before in this House, we got a very clear mandate. People were very clear about the cap-and-trade system. They were very clear as well about the carbon tax and what the carbon tax will mean to Ontario families. Getting rid of cap-and-trade will mean $260 per family per year. Reducing gas prices by 10 cents, which is part of that program, will mean 14,000 jobs for Ontario. These are important things that Ontario families and Ontarians care about. So we repeat, we will take all of the steps necessary, including using the courts, to defend Ontario's interests and defend Ontario families, defend Ontario jobs, and put money back in the pockets of Ontarians.
Supplementary.
Mr. Speaker, my question was about wasting money on lawyers, not necessarily about carbon taxes. But if the minister wants to talk about climate change, then I think the minister owes the people of Ontario an explanation of why they are spending $30 million to fight climate action at a time when we have spent $696 million in insurable losses due to extreme weather events in the first half of this year alone. Climate change is nature's tax on everything. Even insurance brokers understand that. So I ask again, through you, Speaker, to the minister, why is the government opposite choosing to spend money on lawyers instead of solutions for the people of Ontario?